Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello. Welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast that we do 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We also stream the podcast on the Miguel and Holly and the Hits 961 Facebook page and the Miguel and Holly YouTube channel, which if you've never checked out our YouTube channel, you absolutely should.
It's got all kinds of gems on there. Some of the old challenges we used to do and consequences and all these podcasts. It's great.
In which, by the way, headphone karaoke will be coming soon.
What?
For those of you that are the OG.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Bitch, how you not tell us?
Well, I mean,
your team.
When I say soon, I mean like not anytime in the next like 3 months. But we got to like obviously rejigger some things.
We do.
So that'll be coming. But you can see some of the old stuff and some of the stuff we're going to be recycling.
And because there will be recycling. Don't act like it's some kind of, bad thing. Things reduce, reuse, recycle.
Absolutely.
That part.
So check out the Miguel and Holly YouTube channel. And don't forget, we are trying to get to 500 reviews on Apple Podcasts. And once we do, we'll do a random giveaway of $50 on Venmo. All right. So I was a little distracted because I want to share a video that a friend just sent me with everyone, but I'm trying to send it to myself.
Oh my god!
So we can all watch it together because it's a little creepy.
The video is creepy.
It involves us
and the audio. No, it doesn't involve us.
Okay.
No, but it's something that you may have seen on social media because I've seen people talk about it. But I was like, is that real? And then I think this is a real news report. So I'm trying to send it to myself so we can.
We think you have not done the due diligence.
No.
So we don't know if this is real or not. This reminds me of that one time. Remember in Panama City?
Oh, gosh.
I don't know if you remember this.
Oh no, I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't like this. Because anytime you say Panama City, I'm like, girl, that was a wild, wild west.
I know it was, but this was one time I think it was after the show, or maybe I don't know. We were in the Island studio and producer Jimmy today was like, oh my God, you guys, there's this news report that like there was an actual murderer who was working at a haunted house and killed a bunch of people. We were like, what? And he was like, oh my God, there's like a firsthand witness account. And I was like, oh my God, get all the details and we'll talk about it. And he was like, oh my God, I'm going to share you a story. And like, we had gotten so much deep into this story. And then like 10 minutes goes by and sheepishly, then he's like, wait, I don't actually know. This may be a joke. And I was like, bitch, of course that's a joke.
Oh my
gosh. That's everyone's worst fear. That's the joke. And he was like, it looked really real. I'm like, let me never get information from you again.
You're like, I'm going to stop. Well, that's what, especially with AI and all that stuff and deep fakes, like that's what we're going to be getting into where it's like, you just never know like what stuff is.
And it's really hard for like the average citizen to figure out what's real and what's not because like I have been trained and I have honed skills over years to know. So anyway, I just say that to say we vetted this, but go ahead.
For those of you watching, just give us a thumbs up once I start playing the audio and the video to make sure that you can hear it. So I'm just going to, before I share this video, so this is a news report from a CBS Las Vegas affiliate. And the headline says, Las Vegas family claims to see aliens after several reports something falling from sky. No, this is real.
Miguel.
This is real.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't play with me.
Okay. Here we go.
I mean, that's a real
That looks
report.
like a legit news.
It is the police call everybody will be talking about. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Denise Valdez.
I'm Brian Loftus. A family says something crashed into their backyard, prompting them to call 911, saying they saw creatures walking around.
Our 8 News Now investigators digging into this for weeks now. And tonight, our David Charnes with the video you will only see on 8 News Now. David?
Right, Denise, sources telling 8 News Now investigators that several agencies believe something landed or crashed. Whether it was non-humans or not, it certainly scared the people living on this property. Now, before we show you that video, listen to their call for help.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard.
That's the question.
I swear to God.
I swear to God.
That's the question. This man just said there was an 8-foot man with big round eyes, and she's like, "Where is it? What did you say? Where it was?"
She can't be like, what?
Right. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
that's if you are a 911 operator, you have to remain calm, and you just have to.
I couldn't. I could not. I'd be like, "Bitch, what did you decide?" Like, I can't. But, all right. Well, kudos to that
God,
woman.
this is not a joke. This is actually we terrified with.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
How you know?
Okay.
Well, the 80s Now investigators obtaining video.
No, this woman is like, okay, like she probably want to be like, are there drugs on the premises?
You can hear how fast she was typing. She's like
there was like clicking. It was almost like a TikTok video that someone was making about like, you know, me, like welcome to heaven or whatever. And they're like, hold on. That lady.
Video as officers then responded to the call you just heard. You'll see the officers also saw something in the sky that night. But the big question is, what was it? And is it all connected?
Leave her alone.
It's almost midnight on May 1st when a Las Vegas Metro police officer's body cam catches this, something flashing low in the sky.
911 emergency.
Minutes later,
there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Someone calls 911 reporting 2 large figures in their backyard.
No, I'm still nervous right now.
The 8 News Now investigators obtaining another officer's video as he's sent to the Northwest Valley home.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star. Then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
By now, it's more than an hour after that bright light. Officers meeting up with the caller and his family.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard, or
they see like a big? That's what they say. They see like a big something with light.
What I saw right now, I do believe in it.
Police walk into the backyard to investigate, but Metro blacked out that part of the video because it's considered private property. What's clear, they're taking this call seriously.
Hey, this might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky?
Asking others what they saw.
I would normally discount it as nothing. However, seeing as one of my partners said they saw it too, only reason I'm actually investigating it further.
That investigation turning up no concrete answers as of Wednesday. Whatever or whoever fell into that yard, long gone within minutes.
Oh, hey. If those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
So yeah, this is quite weird, Brian was saying as we're watching this story. Now, we've been in contact with the family in that video, and as you heard in that 911 call, they seem very reasonable and honestly quite scared as you heard them in the call. No, they don't seem impaired in any way. And whatever crashed by the time that police got there was gone, but sources say that there's really no dispute. Something was in their yard. Exactly what? We do not know.
I mean, it's so interesting. So like the Metro officer sees something, the neighbor sees something. I mean, so what could it be?
Well, we know that there are obviously a lot of military bases around this area. George Knapp covers a lot of that stuff for us on the 80s Now investigators. We're showing you drone video from above that area. And we know, of course, Creech not far away, Nellis Air Force Base not far. I checked in with them. They say they are not involved at all. And we are waiting to hear from the Pentagon as well.
And you talked to these people. It seemed completely legitimate to you. And do you have any personal thoughts on maybe what it was?
Right. So it seems from talking to our sources that something happened. There was obviously some flash in the sky. A lot of people saw it that night on the night of April 30th, early in the morning on May 1st. Did that exact thing land in their yard? I don't know. But these people said they saw some SUV circling the area. Could this have been some piece of equipment that malfunctioned? Maybe they saw something and then someone came. I can't believe we're talking about this.
Right.
Someone came and retrieved it from the backyard in the SUV. We don't know. This all comes as a former high-level intelligence officer, a veteran, was on News Nation talking about how there is a program where the government collects some unidentified objects. So this might be that.
Y'all. Oh wait, we can't play music.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
gonna get
sorry.
tag flag taken down.
So
Slow news day.
no, I don't think that's. I think that this could be real. Like this could be the beginning. Why don't you
We
believe
already
it,
had the
Kelvin?
beginning. We all had those. Remember those balloons in Ohio and Canada and
Oh,
all
y'all
that.
keep
Remember
talking.
those?
Hey, Daddy AJ's calling.
But why didn't he film it with his camera?
I don't know. And why was no one more upset? Like, just literally put yourself in this person's shoes. You see an 8 to 10 foot being,
right,
with
big
shiny eyes
right.
in your. So you're in like a condo / apartment,
Mm-hmm.
like out your window. I see it in my backyard, and I'm just like, I don't know. There was like an 8 to 9 foot dude back there. No, I'm like, like I'm freaking the F out. How are they so composed?
Composed to get on the phone and call. We never see aliens up close. And if this motherfucker is in your backyard, I don't care. Film it. It's going to be a wrap. He's right there. He's 10 feet away from you? Like, he's not that far from you. It's a wrap. It's going to be done. What was the police going to do? Teleport there? I just film it. Because they're always far away. I just can't.
But see, but here's the thing, though. This is how I always think about it. Remember when I was watching that show Kindred, about the woman who goes back?
Said it, and then it got canceled, and then that sucked. I had to tell my
Such a
person
good
it got
show.
canceled the other day, and that was a whole bad spiral.
I know, it's such a good show, Kindred on Hulu, but it's based off of the show Kindred by Octavia Butler. But they have this one scene in the show because she goes back in time. She's a black woman in LA, and she goes back to like slavery times at this new house that she's in. And then, but she comes back into the present. And so there's this one scene that really just tripped me the fuck out, because I was thinking, and I had also had an edible, as I was watching this episode.
That's a good time to do some thinking, though. I mean,
right?
I need some really great, like things that come together when I'm okay.
Literally, because there's this one scene where she's trying to tell someone in her life that, hey, I have gone back in time to slavery times. And the person is looking at her like trying to believe as she's telling her. And I remember thinking, if that did happen in real life, like, no wonder people don't say what happened, because no one would believe you. Because everyone would be like, okay, you're crazy. I'm going to call the mental institution and get you locked up, because clearly you believe what you're saying, but we know for a fact that that's not true. So that's why I say, why can't this be true? Because of course we're all going to say it's not true. There are no aliens.
It looks like so many parodies. Now, I'm with you, because as much as I'm like, why, like Kelvin's got questions, I've got questions, but I'm also in the same breath being like, I don't see why we can't. I already was like freaked out about, oh God, this year feels like it's been so short, but so long at the same time. I already went through the whole thing about aliens, about how these were weather balloons, but they weren't really weather balloons. And they kept popping up like every 3 to 5 days. And I'm like, what is happening? And then have you noticed nothing, not a single word about it? Where the weather balloons go? Why are we not investigating that further? It's just like, everyone shut your mouth. And then the government trying to be like, oh, we're going to tell you everything about aliens. They're bad though, so just prepare yourself or whatever. And then like that kind of went away. I don't know. So I have those kind of questions, Miguel style questions, where it's like, why can't this be true? I just, any of those movies, it's like, okay, well, you're crazy until it happens to you, and then you see what's going on. I don't know.
Oh wait, didn't we have a phone call we took one time of a girl who said she saw aliens?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can find it in the system.
You have a good memory, because I don't.
I remember. I put her in the best of. one of the days we were
Oh,
off.
good.
Yes.
Well, there you go. That's good.
I'm trying because I want to play it because I remember.
Check
Wait.
in the best of folder.
Okay, because like, was it funny or was it like serious?
No, I don't think it was good though. It
I think
wasn't
we were
like.
in the
I think we
background.
were just kind of like, oh yeah, that's crazy. Like I don't think it was
Yes.
good. No,
Oh,
no offense to that
Dawn
lady.
from Caldwell.
Dawn. I don't think like.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let me play this. And thumbs up for those of you watching. Make sure you can hear it when I start playing it. Apparently, there have been some aliens in shot. Of course, we give a long preamble. Here we go.
Okay, well, first I need to tell you that I had learned that you can communicate with them through Dr. Stephen Greer. He has his own YouTube channel, and he's made a few documentaries. And he says that they are, more involved than us, and they communicate through consciousness, not our human senses. So you have to do it through meditation. So I started meditating for about a week. And then when you meditate, you have to do it with the intention that you want to see them, that they know your intention too. So they will know if you come with love and peace or if you have some kind of nasty agenda. And I was asking them, I wanted to see them. I wanted to know that they were there, blase. And it took a few days, but eventually it was like I would go to the sky every night and be looking out my window. And just right at the right moment, I knew when to look and where to look. And as like they flashed in just for a second and then went away like the light of their ship. Yes.
What?
And it was as I was asking, so it was like an immediate response.
So what you're telling me, all right.
So this is Miguel. This is Miguel trying to come
real.
up with a second part of the conversation.
Right.
Where am I going to take this? So let me reach for something.
The same thing with ghosts, right? Like if I see one, if I see a demon, if I see an alien, like I would just be obsessed with it every single day. I would just not stop talking about it or searching for it or looking for it. I don't know.
But you can't really, because like Miguel said, we'd all think you're crazy, and then you'd eventually have to assimilate back into non-crazy so that you could live. Because otherwise, we'd be like, I think you need to get some help. Like,
Can we make a pact? Like, if one of us ever, and this is gonna sound like one of the dumbest things I've ever said on a podcast on the radio.
I'm ready.
Okay,
you and me, we already zombie apocalypse prep together.
True.
And you think I'm not in on this? Come on.
So can we just
your shit
agree that if one of us gets pulled back in time, we see an alien, a ghost, or a demon, that we will believe the other person?
Yes. Maybe should we have a code word?
Pinky promise.
Like, and this goes for you and the Platypus Posse too. If one of you calls us, but you can't like fuck around with us and be like, Miguel and Holly, like
totally crazy.
So like
you have to save it for reals, and like it's never gonna happen. It's like the alarm that you never really have to pull until you do, and then you.
Actually, I'm trying to think of like what's a Harry Potter term we could use? Like
moaning myrtle.
No, what?
You gotta moan.
We wanted to be serious.
Alohomora, because you have opened the door to the realm of possibilities.
I like that.
You're welcome. Say it again, Holly.
Alohomora.
Alohomora.
It's the unlocking door spell.
So if one of us or you in the Platypus Posse says, hey, y'all, like, it sounds so crazy.
The fact that we're even having this discussion is a time.
So like, okay, wait, no, I need you to be serious right now.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Okay, so this weekend, y'all, I was at an afters party at someone's house I'd never met before. And they told me to use the bathroom in their room. And I walked into the wrong room. And when I walked into the room, I was in 1875. And I got scared and I did not know how to get out. And I was freaked out as a black man back then. And then somehow I got back. Alohomora. I'm being dead serious.
I'll be like, okay, well, we need to figure this shit out. Let me get some books. I'll go to the library.
Why are you laughing?
I'd laugh at you and I'd be like, okay. After like having a good giggle.
Don't tell Kelvin. Don't tell Kelvin. He's not
After
gonna
having
be
a
with
good
you.
giggle
He's not
fest,
gonna
I'd be
do it.
like, bitch,
No.
shut up. And then I would take you seriously. I would kiki for a little bit, but then I would take you
I
seriously.
wouldn't. He's in grave danger. What if it happens again?
Because what if I'm like, I was really scared and I walked out of the room and noticed that like everything was different and it wasn't an after party. And clearly I was in a different time. And then there were these white people looking at me
I
like,
would have questions. I'd be like, wait, okay, so what did it look like? What did you smell? Like, I'm asking like real world observational things that you're going to be able to answer.
right. Would you believe me?
I would. I mean, of course I would.
Okay. Same
Kelvin's
for
not
you.
going to.
Calvin's not. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm
tell
not gonna tell
me.
you because then
No,
you'll make
tell
me feel even more crazy, and then I'll be like, you know what? Maybe I hallucinated.
Bitch, that edible was good, is what I would probably tell you.
All I'm saying is, listen, all I'm saying is that crazy beyond our knowledge things exist. And I solidly feel that I have absolute legit proof because I have that video of Maya talking about her previous life. When we post, I think we've posted it twice now over the course of a couple of years, but and there are people that are like, obviously she's just making up a story. Obviously she's just, parroting something that she saw on TV. But no, like she was at the exact age when kids still have memories from previous lives. And I am sold fully on the fact that before she was a baby, this is how the video went. Before I was a baby, she has a little cute speech impediment. Before I was a baby, when I was 15, and I think she said 16 or 15 speech impediment. She's like, I had a violin and it was very squeaky. And I'm like, she was so earnest in this. I'm like, she was remembering. She was not making it up because what kid says before I was a baby when I was 15? Like, in my gut, I'm like, I know it. So how can that be true, but otherworldly beings not be true?
I mean, I just feel like we are, and we've been saying this for a while now, that we are leading up to something.
In our lifetime? Do you think our lifetime?
Yes, 100%.
I hope.
I think so.
I think I don't know. I don't see it for our lifetime. I see it way later in the future. We're just at the tip of AI. Like just at the tip. Like there's going to be some technology that will be able to. I think it's just a start. I think eventually at one point we're going to have the technology to reach people billions of light years away, but that's going to be a long time from now. And then we'll be able to contact other people from other galaxies.
What are they doing letting us struggle around here in the dark?
We're just not advanced yet.
We're so
it's just
violent.
I don't think it's our generation.
No.
And I read, like, if you look into like Dolores Cannon and that whole thing where she knows about like age regret, like past lives and stuff and what happens in the great beyond and everything, like she and other experts like that have said like there are waves of people coming, like the star seeds and the light carriers who are here to raise the energetic field of this planet so that we can like join in with all of our, the other beings who are way more advanced, and we're just like squalling down here like little ants. But there's waves of and they look, and some people don't even know that they are that. They're just walking around being magnificent, trying to raise the vibration on the planet. Probably Meredith that we had on the podcast the other day. She's probably one of them. How good did you feel after we talked to her?
Oh, 100%.
Like there are people that are sent to elevate us. And I think that's why maybe you're right. Maybe it's not in our lifetime or generation, but it's happening. Like the pin has been pulled out of the grenade. It's going to happen. I just don't know when, but I hope it happens like next year because the election season is going to be terrible and I'd rather focus on aliens, frankly.
So what if the star people are like a Meredith doesn't know that she has this power?
Yeah.
And she's supposed to help fight these 10-foot creatures.
How do you know? Wait, you are assuming that the 10-foot creatures are bad. Why is that the assumption? Because of Hollywood?
Oh. Why wouldn't they make themselves be known?
Maybe like Kelvin is saying, it's too soon. We're not quite ready yet. It would be like trying to explain quantum physics to a 5-year-old.
Right. Or me.
Or you. Or any of us. I mean, frankly, any of us. I mean, really. But like, maybe it's like they're keeping eyes on to be like,
They're near.
They're almost there.
They're observing.
Almost there. It's just the benevolent observer.
What if, and for those of you watching and listening, I'm sorry. These are the conversations that Holly and I used to have when we lived together.
That's why I miss living with you.
We would sit there for like an hour and just be like, so what if
sober?
Yes.
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 My ex-husband would be like, I'm out of my
He'd be like, peace out, bitch.
I'm not staying for this.
Talking about no damn aliens and shit. No, but like, what if
All
this
right. What was the
election
gasp? Yes.
is a test? So like, I was
All right,
listening
go.
to a podcast yesterday, a political podcast, where this woman who, I think she's a senator from Michigan who, oh God, I hope she runs for president one day. So level-headed and so great at her thoughtfulness behind where we are as a country. But she was trained as a national security expert. She went into that after 9/11 because she was in grad school.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying that part of her studies to get her graduate degree in national security was to study democracies or countries that had fallen and to study the 10 or 15 years leading up to it and to sort of pinpoint what are some signs that say that the country is about to fall apart. And she was saying that we are in that. She said we're about 6 years into it.
Oh, no, I knew it.
Because it's like when you have radical political polarization on both sides where we aren't even arguing the truth and we can't even talk to the other side.
We are just at a stone-walled,
That's
nothing
it.
is happening.
And we're like Congress, nothing can get done, nothing can happen because everybody is like entrenched into their things.
Right.
So taking what this very real world podcast where this senator was talking, let's take these 8-foot, 10-foot beings. What if this election is a test to see if we can finally come together so they can share their technology and what they know with us? But if we continue the divide, then they'll be like, you know what? Y'all aren't ready for it. We'll check back in another 100 years.
Yeah. It's not like a peaceful society
Okay,
that we're in.
Though, we're putting an awful lot on just the United States of America. Like, what about the rest of the world?
Well, that's because a lot goes by. I mean, listen, if we were to default, we would have sent the world into a tailspin because so many people depend on us economically and what happens.
Yeah, I know, you're
And
right.
so not just
That's
saying
what
that
my
like
cousin
we're
said too,
American, but because just our economics, people depend on us.
The leaders of the world.
Yeah. And so like
Yeah.
if we were to default, thank God, they were able to compromise and well, that's a whole nother issue. But we were able to reach that, everybody's fine. But like
I don't know. That gives me very little hope then because
that means you're
not our generation.
Great
girl.
grandkids
out here arguing over absolutely
T-shirts.
stupid bullshit. And the aliens are like, see, this is why we can't have nice things. This is why you can't have nice
Not
things.
this place. It's trash.
Like, can
Yes,
you imagine
trash.
if you're an
Send
alien?
the flood. Send the flood. We're gonna start it. We're gonna reboot. We're rebooting.
Like, can you imagine?
this.
Like, they're like, all right, we are going to give them technology that will, like, Holly could physically walk into this studio in Charlotte every day from Tampa,
Yes.
or I could walk into my house in St. Pete still every day, and I could still live there and live here and everything, and that
Exactly.
technology or whatever. Or we could I could think a thought, and it could be in your head. They have the technology, and then they come to us to the America, and they're
see.
like, so they are banning men that dress up in wigs and sing
But
from
we're
performing.
we're banning the spreading of knowledge.
Wait,
don't
but
even
they
want
have
our
people that
knowledge. You know
sleep
what?
on
They
the
don't want it.
street and the elements, and they're not doing that
It
first.
took them 3 years to get rid of that virus.
Wait,
We're
people
not.
have diseases and they're not
God.
handling that, but they're worried about the people with penises and
We are a
wigs.
dumb race overall. I mean, generally. You know
Right.
what it is? It's the fear.
Right.
Like we are programmed with this fear that just runs our shit, and we just
Fear mongering. It's real.
I think it's all good. And man, I talked about this on this exact podcast before, and it makes me want to go reread it. That thing where that book that I recommend, I haven't talked about it since Tampa, I don't think. It's called like Leaving Eden, or I can't remember now. It's on my Kindle. It's like Escaping Eden or whatever, where it's
Who is
like,
it by? Do
okay,
you remember?
oh, I don't remember. But it's basically
Paul Wallace.
Yes, I think Paul Wallace.
Escaping from Eden by Paul
Yes.
Wallace.
That. And it's such an interesting take on aliens, because when we think aliens, we think of like scary green men from Mars or whatever. Like in my head, like sort of the go-to of aliens is Independence Day with Bill Pullman and whatever.
Will Smith.
Will Smith. And I love that movie. Everyone loved that movie, and that's kind of what we think. Our generation does anyway. But this book, it's about religion, but it's also about aliens, not in the way that you think, because they were like this guy who was like a pastor or a priest or some high up in Christianity in his particular branch was like, I wanted to just learn more. So I kept asking questions. And like my colleagues would be like, you're looking at this all wrong. He's like, I couldn't stop asking the questions and not getting good answers. And it was all about the book of Genesis, just the beginning of the Bible, right? So you're like talking about Genesis and like the language that's used. He's like, no one could answer me this question about like what, is it saying, it's been so long since I read it. It was like the way that the language is, it's saying there's one God, but it's using the plural form. Why are we using plural in the Bible when there's just one God? And so that picking at that thread led to this entire unraveling. And then he went into historical research about like ancient Mesopotamia and the Euphrates and where did these people get this technology, the pyramids that were built in Egypt. I'm telling you, you pull up the thread and it starts to unravel all this stuff. And it's like, he's putting forth a hypothesis, not saying like, here's what I know to be true. He's like, it would possibly appear that perhaps there are the great architects of our planet, of our life. And all religions start with, they all have some sort of parable about a great flood. They all do, even like any which way you dice it. And it's like, that happened, but they all turned into like myths and stories and legends and Bible and whatever. And it's like, well, what if that was real? And it's like, there was a fight between like some of the higher up beings that oversee the entire universe. And it's like, these creations, these humans are not doing it. Strike it down. We're starting fresh because I don't like the way that this was going. And they're like the architects of us. I'm butchering the paraphrase of this whole thing, but it really got my mind to at least think in a different direction, where it was like, what if everything that you grew up knowing was potentially just a story and it was meant to be sort of a allegory or maybe like a, euphemism for something else? How does this all work together? I'm going to read it again. Now I'm reinterested. But it just makes you think.
Well, absolutely. And that's what, as you were saying that, I was thinking of like when you think of the pyramids or Stonehenge, and then you think about
Easter Island.
Right. And then you go to, all right, let's talk about the 1800s, 1700s in America and how like simple the buildings and just the engineering was.
Oh, yes.
When they had more tools then, but then when you think about so it's like,
did we lose like at some
who
point
was
there's
there?
Like, there's a gap. Why did we have this crazy technology to assemble these pyramids and these other ancient structures and like the underground cities that exist that we didn't even know existed until like they did archaeological digs and stuff? How did people do these things? And then we all lost this knowledge. What happened when we lost the knowledge? What else did we lose along with that knowledge? And we're just over here like, look at how far we've come from the horse and buggy days. Somewhere, something is not adding up. It doesn't add up.
And it's interesting to think about like where we will be. I mean, when I think about when our parents gave birth to us, like they wouldn't be sitting in a room with, a screen all day, looking like talking to Holly in Tampa,
No, that was just a cartoon called The Jetsons.
Right. It wasn't reality. And like now here we are. So like what's gonna happen in the next 20 years? Like before we retire, like
blowing my mind what's gonna happen.
That's why I don't feel comfortable watching Black Mirror. But that's a whole other topic.
Wait, isn't it out?
Is it? I thought it was coming out June 22nd.
Oh, I was really hoping because I really want to see it.
Sometimes these conversations make me sick to my stomach.
Why?
I don't know why I get nervous.
Do you get nervous?
Do
Do you get anxious thinking about the future?
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's like an existential crisis.
Yeah.
I know these are my favorite.
I can't watch it either because of even the first episode. I was like, it's too much. I
It's
feel
so
too bad.
much.
These are my
stomach
favorite.
hurts.
It's too much. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well,
that's
now
also
that
part of the reason we can't really talk time travel because I used to get too like upset about people not being able to come back. But I'm doing much better with that time.
well, that's like Amber earlier
glad.
said, Miguel. If you get sent back to 1875, I don't know if they're gonna let you come back.
I mean,
That's why I be trying to hide. But that's why I love that show Kindred, because Homegirl has to assimilate to that time.
Yeah.
As a Black woman. Stefan said, I stopped watching Black Mirror season 1 because a lot of the content was depressing and sad.
Yeah.
Which is why I love it.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right.
I'm just
Well,
gonna go watch an episode, rewatch Ted Lasso. That's fine.
I think we've disturbed y'all enough.
Time to go.
Oh, it's just a regular podcast.
There we go.
Aliens. Wait. Okay. Do we think that it's possible aliens were in Vegas? Yes or no?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Do you watching right now? Do you think aliens were in Vegas? These 10-foot, 9-foot. And if you missed it, you can go back and watch it, the video, because we streamed it.
That place looks fun as
It
fuck.
reminds me of Signs. You know, when Joaquin Phoenix is like watching the video with the little Mexican children, and there's like, Mom and us children, and they're like, it's us upstairs and behind, and then it just lurches out.
Ooh, you know what? That's a good movie to bring back. I want to watch Signs this weekend.
Absolutely. Like, it is iconic.
Yeah. I want to watch
good.
Signs. All right, producer Kelvin, what's all of your information?
You can follow me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram at Kelvin Live.
Holly O'Connor.
All right. All the social medias, Radio Holly.
Anne Marie said nope to aliens in Vegas. Stefan said Vegas seems appropriate.
Well, it's all in that desert area. Like, think about New Mexico, okay?
Amber said it's a no for me, dog. Amy said the aliens are everywhere.
Well,
my information is at Miguel Fuller on Instagram, TikTok, and on Be Real. We will see you all on Monday. Bye, y'all.
Miguel and Holly